All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for joining us back. So, as I was saying, I used to check into properties and what it would cost to take a home and refurb it and make it into a home. That was not the issue. The issue was the safety that you have to get. You have to get uh, security. And you have to make sure these ladies are safe, which is a 24/7 thing. You have to hire the right people. So the overhead was something that I couldn't at the time take on. And so I kept pushing it back, pushing it back, pushing it back. When I finally left my nursing job to work for myself full time, something said, well, now you can do it. There's no reason you can't do it. You're not bogged down with work like you were before. You're in a situation where you can take this challenge on. And I pushed back, but it was just heavy on my heart that you can do this. And this is what I want you to do. This is your purpose in life. Now do it. So I was like, okay, let me do it. So I did all the grunt work, figuring out how to start the nonprofit. And there were certain people that would put on my mind that I reached out to ask if they could help me start this venture. Well, not start it because I started it, to help me see this venture through. And those ladies are Golden Swan Cadre now. And Mickey G was one of those ladies that I reached out to and told her what God had put on my heart to do, and ask her to be a part of it. And so that's how she came. That's how Golden Swan Cadre came about. After I wrote the mission, vision, and purpose, I reached out to certain ladies to help me see the mission, the vision, and the purpose through. And Mickey G was or is one of those ladies. She's been with me from the very beginning. We've had a turnover, but she's been with Golden Swan Cadre from the very beginning. And I'll let her tell you rather how she came about and what she feels about Golden Swan Cadre, and then we'll take it from there.
All right, so I'm going to give you a little background about myself. I was in a marriage for a length of time. I have 4 children. I have 7 grandchildren, et cetera, et cetera. I've been a foster mother. I've been a mother. I'm a grandmother, as I stated. But for 20 years, I was a homemaker. I was a stay-at-home wife, and took care of my husband and my home and all those things. And once I found myself outside of that marriage, once the marriage was over, I divorced, I had to start my life over again. But in the meantime, I have led what they call cell groups in churches. You know how they pastor in small groups. And so I was over a group of women that I was mentoring. And then there was a woman who was mentoring me and several of us. And so I did that for about 10 years. Every week we would meet at my home. And I made it where the atmosphere was conducive for honesty and the truth. And I'd always tell them, whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And my house was Vegas. I said, I dare not hear anything coming up around the church that we talked about in here. And those ladies said, they felt safe, because a lot of times women don't trust women because we talk too much sometimes. And so we had an atmosphere of safety and protection in that space. Later, when my mother passed away, my sister and I formed a support group called Daughters of Angel Moms, out of a need that we had, trying to figure out how to grieve. And we took the ladies through almost a year until the pandemic came. And we would share insights with each other, talk about the grief process, how we felt about our mothers, etc. And so in helping those women, I got to a place when I left a situation that I needed help and support. So I went to a domestic violence agency and got therapy and support there. And from that point, I understood what my journey was. It was a journey of domestic violence. And I didn't know what it was, because a lot of times women aren't educated as to what it is and what it isn't. A lot of times we think it's because someone's beating on someone every day that's what domestic violence is. And so as I learned it, and Goldnbronze knew about my journey, she invited me to become part of Golden Swan Cadre, so we can help women like me who were coming out of these situations, and women like her who came out of these situations. And some of us didn't have jobs or income or, things like that. We had to find our support. Thankfully, I have a very supportive family. But that's how I came to Golden Swan Cadre. And it has been such a blessing to be able to serve women. Helping women is the motto for Golden Swan Cadre. And I'm so grateful that Goldnbronze invited me and the other women. It's such a beautiful mission that she has set up to help women, not only in one state, but we're in multiple states at this point. So Goldnbronze, tell me a little bit more about Golden Swan Cadre and the things that have been done in Golden Swan Cadre to this point, some of the accomplishments, because there's been several.
Oh, that's a good question. Thank you, Mickey. So in the beginning, we did a little marketing branding of the ladies just to show social media who we are and what we are about. And one of the first things that we did was we gave necessities like deodorant and toothpaste and hair care products and feminine products and things like that to our first entity, which was in downtown Dallas. We did that at Christmas in 2022, I believe. And after that, we gave, we've done so much. We gave them, we went to beauticians and we asked for different beauticians in the community to donate shampoos and conditioners and combs and blow dryers and things that you care for African American hair to our entity so that we could give that to this place downtown Dallas that house not just domestic violence victims, but they also house homeless people. So we did that. We partnered with recreation centers in lower income communities and donated Easter baskets and Halloween candy and turkey dinners. And I'm trying to surmise it, okay? Food. We did Thanksgiving baskets for individual families at Thanksgiving to help them so that they could have a nice Thanksgiving dinner. We've given clothing to domestic violence centers to help the ladies' purses and shoes. And also we gave furniture. We furnished in 2024 alone. We've done probably 5 homes, and I'll finish that when we come. So thank you for joining. So this year alone, we do what we call adopt a room. And one of the domestic violence centers will recommend families to Golden Swan Cadre. And I will reach out to the families and ask which room would they like for us to decor or furnish. And whatever their preference is what we try to do. So this year alone, we had a goal of 4, 1 a quarter, and we exceeded that goal and did 6 families. By June, I'm going to say May, by the end of May, we had helped 6 families furnish rooms in their apartments. Now, each family gets 1 room. So if it was living room, we did that. If it was bedroom, we did that. If it was dining room, we did that. And so we were able to accomplish that. And we have a program that we call Adopt a Room. And that's what we do. We have a lady that is a designer and a decorator, will gather everything that we need to go decor the room. But we actually gave furniture and not just decor this year. Our goal for next year is the same, 4 families, 1 each quarter. If we are able to bless more than 4 families, we'll do that. So we do all kinds of things. And not only that, we mentor. And we're getting ready to do a peer-to-peer program, which means that we will be working with one of our domestic violence center. And I'm on that committee to chair that program to get it up and going. And we will peer one of our ladies with one of their ladies, and our lady will peer one-on-one with that lady for 12 consecutive months to help her through her post domestic violence journey. If that means praying with her, if that means making sure she has dinner on the table by going through our organization, if that means going to just meet her in the park and comfort her during a time that she needs strengthening, whatever our mentor and that young lady decides that best suits them, we will peer to peer with that young lady for 12 consecutive months to help her get through her single family journey. That's what I call it, from being with a husband or a boyfriend or whatever, live-in person, to being able to provide for herself solely on her own. Whatever that takes to help her through that journey, that's what we've committed to doing.
That is
Yeah.
excellent, because I know, just like you do, that's well needed, because domestic violence is so prevalent. I talked with women probably about a week ago. One was a friend of mine that I'd known for 10 years, and she told me that she was a domestic violence survivor from her first marriage. I didn't know she had been married before. And then the next day, a lady I met, her daughter just had a baby and she's in a domestic violence situation. And she told me that the assailant, the abuser, was beating her up in front of 8 people and they were just watching,
Oh my
you know. So,
goodness.
right. And so I think there was another person I talked with the other day who said they were a survivor of domestic violence. I think everywhere we look, we find women who are abused by a significant other. And so Golden Swan Cadre is so instrumental in helping. I wish at the beginning of my journey, I had a Golden Swan Cadre to help me.
That's
So,
why I started it, because
right,
I felt the same way, Mickey G. It was a journey I was on. It seemed like you don't want to get your family too involved in things. At least I didn't, for personal reasons. I told as much as I felt safe to tell while I was living in the home with my
right,
abuser. And actually, once I was no longer living with my husband, is when I started talking about
right,
what I was going through and experiencing. And unfortunately, my daughter experienced it. My daughter's actually experienced some of it. So then I had to do post domestic violence. What do you call that? I'm at a loss of words. I had to talk to my daughters a lot about not putting up with what I did, not doing what I did.
right,
Um, don't follow that example and how it should be. Um, that I did it for them. And then one of my daughters actually told me she didn't know what took me so long, which was like a what? You know, I'm thinking I'm helping you, and you're like,
yeah,
why? You know what I'm saying? It
right,
was like a light bulb went off. So yeah, I wish there had been someone when I was going a Golden Swan Cadre, like you said, when I was actually going through it. Because
yes,
we also teach people how to notice the red flags, Mickey G. A lot of people don't notice those red flags. So we teach people what they are, because we know we are survivors and thrivers. Look out for these things. So you can go to people and say, hey, is there something you would like to talk about? You know, you can confide in me.
right,
And then we give them our expertise. Yeah.
right. This, and you make a very good point. In the beginning, it's so scary. You don't know who to trust. You don't know who to tell. You don't know if that person is talking to the abuser. You just don't know. And you don't feel safe. Sometimes you don't know if they're stalking you, or, I had several situations that I felt very afraid for myself. I'm not going to get into
Mhm.
that story right now, but it is very
Right.
important. And even when you have children, sometimes we stay for the children, but the
Mhm.
children are going through it. It's not helping them for us to stay in a situation where mom is being abused and they're watching a man abuse their mom, or abuse, some men abuse them.
Their
And
dad,
sometimes,
watching their dad abuse their mom.
right, watching
Yes.
their dad abuse their mom, who's in covenant with the mom, supposed to protect and love her and all those things.
Mhm.
And instead, the person you trust the most, the person you go to sleep next to every night, you're in fear of them. And so staying for
Right.
children is not always a good idea. So I'm glad that you made a
Right.
decision. And your daughter's like, hey, when are we going to stop the madness on this? And you were able to do that.
You,
And so,
yeah,
no,
actually, the 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 day I thought I needed to tell them that I was not gonna stay with their dad, um, who was very verbally abusive, more than physical, emotionally abusive, and all that kind of stuff. That's when one of my daughters said, "I don't know what took you so long." So we'll be
right.
right back, and I'll.
So you were saying,
Okay, so and I was saying that when I decided to have that conversation, um, and she said, "Well, I don't know what took you so long." Honestly, I felt this big.
wow, wow,
My teenage daughter is saying this to me, and I'm like, I stayed in this marriage for you guys. I don't know why. That was the
yeah,
response I got. And I was like, oh, that was like a light bulb moment for
right,
me. You know what I'm saying? Because
right,
I did us more damage than I did us good,
right,
by
right,
just
right,
staying,
right.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a
well,
billion women out there that stay for the same reason that I did, that don't understand that that's not healthy for them. It's not healthy for their children. It's an excuse. It's not a
yes,
reason. It's an
yeah,
excuse.
yeah. And I think too, it's a habit. You're used to this person. You're
Yeah.
used to whatever the culture of the home is. That's what you know. It's like the devil, And
Yeah.
so if you break that pattern,
Yeah.
what will happen if you leave? Will he kill me? Will something happen to my children if I tell? And so it's a lot of pressure when a woman is in the midst of a domestic violence situation. It's a lot of pressure, a lot of fear, not knowing where to go, who to trust. And so I want to thank you as a member of Golden Swan Cadre for what you're doing in this community and in our world, because Golden Swan Cadre is going
Thank you.
international. At some point, we're going to go international because this is needed everywhere. This is not just Texas, Oklahoma, New York. It's everywhere. If I can run into women in a weekend, 3 women to tell me a story, then it's everywhere. And so I want to thank you as a member of Golden
Right.
Swan Cadre for all that you do for all the women and for your heart for the women. So thank you for
Thank you,
that.
Mickey G.
You're welcome. You're
Yes.
welcome. So
Thank you
I'm
for being a part of Golden Swan Cadre. You're
oh
you're one of the lights, the beacon lights of this organization. You
thank
keep it going. You make it
thank
happen just as much as I do. So I appreciate that.
thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm honored to be part of it. Now, with that said, we have a fun segment. So, in this Getting to Know
Yes.
Us segment, this whole thing is about getting to know us because you don't know who we are. And we've been in front of you in your homes
Right.
for a while. So, it's time to get to know who we are. So, we're going to do fun on this next segment. I'm not sure how much time we have in this segment, but we'll start. So, what we're going to do, I'm going
Yes.
to ask Goldnbronze, and she's going to ask me questions to get to know me better. So, what I'll do, I can start and ask you the question, you answer, and then you ask me a question. Will that work for you?
All right. That
Okay.
works. Sounds like fun. Lori,
Okay.
I hope it's something I can answer.
You're going to get to vent on this first one. You're going to get to vent a little bit. So, what is
Okay.
your
Let's
biggest
do it.
pet peeve? What's your biggest pet peeve? You have the floor.
You already know. Okay, my biggest pet peeve is when I ask someone to do something and they say, yes, I will, and then drop the ball and don't do it, or I have to repeatedly repeat myself. You know, like that is my pet peeve. If I ask you to do something and then later on you give me 10 reasons why you can't when I was depending on you to do it, that is a pet peeve. It irritates me. I would rather someone say, no, I can't do it. My time isn't allotted. I don't know how to do it, or I just don't want to do it, instead of saying, I'll do it and never do it. There's people that have said that they would do stuff and never, ever have. That's a
Yeah.
pet peeve for me.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
honesty.
Okay. Well, I told you can vent. The first question is a vent session. So that was a
Yes.
good one. So, what question do you have for me? And then I have probably a couple of loaded ones for you.
You know what? I was wondering if you was going to do that to me, because I don't have any loaded questions for you.
No,
I have
it's not loaded
questions.
embarrassing. No, it's not embarrassing.
Okay. I have questions that are just so people to get to know you. Like, what is the most favorite thing that you like to do?
That I like to do. I like
Mhm.
to shop. I like to shop for. I really like to shop for my home. I like to decorate, and then I like to clothes shop. So retail therapy is my jam. I love to shop. So
Good.
yeah,
Are you crafty?
not
DIY?
not
DIY, whatever it
really.
is.
Not really. I just have I have a creative eye for things that I like, and maybe putting a picture up at the
Mhm.
entryway and a nice thing of flowers and how I want them situated. And my bed, I love pillows, pillows, pillows. My husband would say, "Hey, so many pillows on here. What are we supposed to do with them? Look at them. That's what you're supposed to do with them." I like to coordinate, my colors and all that. So I really enjoy retail therapy. Is my thing.
That's cool.
Okay, let's see here. Let's get a fun one. Okay, what was your the best vacation you ever took, and why?
The best vacation I ever took so far was to the Dominican Republic.
Mm,
And um, the reason why is because the people look just like us. They are
yeah.
so friendly and nice. They had a place where you could get all kinds of international foods. So it wasn't just American and Dominican, but German and all kinds. We stayed at this resort called, I don't know if it's called Rui or RIU, but it was very, very nice. And the people were so friendly. I actually took a tour of the Dominican and I learned a lot of history behind the Dominican. And that was very interesting to me as well. But so far, that's the best trip that I have ever taken,
Oh,
the
that
best
sounds
vacation. It was for 7 days on a resort, and it was just beautiful, a beautiful time of year. Yep.
nice. Was it all inclusive?
It was all inclusive, and that's another thing that I liked about it. If you wanted to eat at 1 in the morning,
Yeah.
this big cafeteria style international restaurant was open, and you could just eat all you wanted, drink all
Oh,
you wanted, whether it was alcohol or sodas. Get in the pool and at 3 a.m. If you wanted to, 3 a.m. It was just all inclusive, beautiful.
wow.
Yes.
That's on my list. Okay, so what have you got for me? What do you
Yeah.
want to know, Goldnbronze?
Well, I will ask you in one moment. All right, you guys, thanks for joining us back. So, as I was about to ask Mickey G, oh, like I said, I had the vision where I can't read without the glasses. Um, if you could have 1 month to do anything in the world that you could do, what would you do for a whole month?
I would I would travel. I would travel, all expenses paid. I would just say, just go wherever I wanted to go. I would just travel and see the world, enjoy other cultures, enjoy the foods, shop, send it home. I have to do the retail therapy, but that's probably what I would do. I would just travel and see the world and just be pampered, and because I like the cruise. That's a whole other thing, but I probably would just do a lot of
Yeah,
traveling. Yeah. Yeah.
I would too. Okay,
Ooh,
cool. That's a good one.
yes. Yes. Okay. So, do you live by any particular words of wisdom?
I do now. I, for most of my life, did not. But my words of wisdom now are to love yourself
Mhm,
first. Of course, you
mhm,
love everybody else, but love yourself, because when you love yourself first, you take good care of yourself,
right,
again, physically, emotionally, you know, mentally, and
mhm,
live unapologetically for yourself. And if that includes loving others, that includes loving others, giving, that's part of mine,
mhm,
charity, and taking care of myself and other people too. Live
mhm.
how you want to live unapologetically, because everybody else does just that.
That's right. That's right. Live boldly.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay, let me ask you, and then we may not be able to get through all of them. And then again, we might. But what is your favorite color?
You know, it has evolved over time, but now my favorite color is three colors, and I'll explain why. There's yellow, red, and pink. Primarily, I like pink, but red, yellow, and pink because it's the colors of a sunset. And when I've seen the sunsets at Cozumel, and it's the most beautiful sunset, and it has all those colors in it. So, pink, yellow. Wait a minute, pink, orange, and red. I think those are the colors.
Yeah,
Lord,
I was
do
gonna
I even
say
know
I've
my
seen
favorite
orange
colors?
in the sunset.
Yeah, pink, orange, yellow,
Hmm.
pink, four, yellow, pink, orange, red. So those are my favorite colors. But it
Okay.
reminds me of the
Yeah.
sunset. Yeah, yeah.
And you're right. A beautiful sunset incorporates all those colors.
It does. And
Yeah.
I love
Okay.
that.
Let me ask you.
Okay, go ahead.
No, 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 no. It's your turn. I'm
You
sorry.
okay? Let's see here. What activities did you love to do with your family when you were growing up?
Travel. The very thing that you would do for a whole month for the rest of
Yes.
your, if you could.
Yeah. Yeah.
I enjoy travel. When my kids
Yeah.
were little, we did a lot of that. And every weekend we went somewhere. When
Mhm.
we lived in California, we explored it from the northern tip as far as Lake Tahoe to the
Nice.
southern tip as far as San Bernardino, California.
Wow.
And any and everything that I could find that was a tourist event, I took my kids to do. So we traveled a lot and ate out at restaurants, experiencing different types of foods,
Yeah.
ethnical foods and stuff like that. So that
Mhm.
was what I really enjoyed the most
Yeah.
with my daughters. And there was two things. Well, actually maybe three. One daughter was athletically inclined, so we went to her sporting activities every Saturday. She
Mhm.
ran track. Our whole Saturdays were all day at the track meets. And I enjoyed that because the other families were there, and we would all have coolers with sodas and crackers and lunch meat and stuff. And it was like a picnic at the track meet with all the other parents every Saturday. And then my youngest daughter was into music. So we spent a lot of time doing just the same, going to band events.
Yeah.
Band parents would be there with their coolers. Those events would last all day. So between track and field and band and traveling, that's what I enjoy. I spent a lot of time doing that with my daughters when they were
Wow.
with my
Wow.
family and my husband at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
take it that you guys went by car. Is that kind of how you guys went back
We
then?
went by car. We took, yes, road trips. They're fun,
Right. Right.
they
Right.
really
And
are. That's
that's
exactly
what I
what we
was
did.
thinking. Yeah. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
What is your dream job?
Well, hmm. I love what I'm doing now. I love what I'm doing with the
Hmm.
podcast. I enjoy that. I
Hmm.
I think I would probably enjoy being a personal shopper because it goes into my
Yeah.
enjoyment of shopping. Um, and I like planning cruises, but I don't think I want to be a full-time travel agent. I tend to plan all the trips
Yeah.
for
That-
my family and friends when we're going together. I kind of do that, but I think I enjoy what we're doing now. I really do. This is an opportunity that I did not foresee. So I love talking to people about
you
things.
know, and that's exactly why I asked you to be my co-host, because you like to talk, and I knew you were a motivational speaker and a public speaker, and this is all new to me. I love it as well. It's just a door God opened up, and I said, let me walk through it and let me bring my little cousin with me, because she liked to do this, and so that's why you're
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
And
that's
yes,
why.
we're cousins, everybody.
Yes. We'll tell you about that on another show. That's coming. We'll tell you more
Yeah.
about it.
Mhm.
Okay, so let me ask you, what is the best compliment you've ever received?
That I had pretty eyes.
You do?
Everybody likes my eyes. um, that's one, and I guess the other is that people say that I'm smart. So I
Yeah.
downplayed that for many years, and that comes with this domestic abuse stuff.
Mm,
I thought little of myself, and in the back, I knew that I was, but I was afraid to show that side of me. So I dummied
yeah.
myself down to make other people feel good, I guess. And so
Yes.
when my mother especially said, I'm very proud of you, you're so smart. And then my friends started telling me that, I think that probably supersedes the I thing, because it gave me confidence to hear my
Mm,
family and my friends tell me something that maybe in the back of my mind I knew, but was afraid to
yes.
show. So
Right.
yeah, that was the
Yeah.
greatest compliment.
Yeah. Those are very meaningful compliments. If they can motivate you to keep doing what you're doing, that's a good thing. Excuse me.
Mhm.
Do we have time for a couple more questions?
So Um, I think we need to take a break and then we'll be
Okay.
okay. So I think we have time for one more each if we make it short.
Okay. Okay. Go
So
ahead and answer.
this one kind of is redundant. Yeah, I think I answered the last one. It's your me to ask you one, but it
Okay.
might be easy for you to answer because it's kind of redundant to the one that I asked you before. And I had asked you what your dream job was. You told me you like what you're doing and to be a personal shopper. But my next question was, what are your life goals like for the rest of your life? You know, like we have more years behind us than before us. So pretty much we have attained some of the goals, but that doesn't mean we don't have any for the future. And what are yours?
I want to enjoy my life. I have worked and worked and worked and twisted myself into pretzels and these different situations. I would love to just enjoy my life, travel. And while I'm doing that, I want to encourage people. I want to help along the way in ways that I can. So I would love to have a flexible kind of life where I can just pour into people, pour into myself, give back to myself. I've given to so many people in life. I would love to do that. So
Yeah,
that
that's
might,
perfect.
yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that flexibility is important. Well, shoot, I think
Hmm.
I wanted to get you a high note question like that. Okay, well, here's a question. Here's a question because I had one that you could do a pet peeve on, but we're not going to close with a pet peeve. Okay,
Okay.
so what would you do tomorrow if you won $1 million today?
Well, what I do, what you would do if you could have one wish come true, and that would be travel. I would never come back home. I would spend the rest of my life just traveling, go to
Woo.
Europe, go to the Middle East, go to Japan. I don't think I want to go to China, but I think I would like to go to Japan, Dubai, um, not only that, I would, if I had $1 million, which doesn't go very far anymore like it used to, I would spend a lot of time traveling. I probably would ask my daughters and my grandchildren if there was something that they wanted that I could give them, and I would gift them whatever that is. And then I would go and say, see y'all when I see y'all.
Yes.
That's what I would do.
Well, I love it. It's clear we're cousins. We think very similarly as far as enjoying our lives and traveling and helping others. And it's such a blessing to be able to do that. So with that said, I'm so glad we had this conversation and this time together to just share with each other. This is a safe space when we come in to Gab with Golden Bronze, and it's a safe bully-free zone. So I also want to remind you of how you can tune into our podcast. You can hear our show on Village Global Network on Mondays every other week at 10 a.m., powered by Zeno FM, with additional monitoring through online radio box. The following stations: Culture Shock Radio, Radio Perseo, Rockbox FM, and Wapter Music. You can also view our show on YouTube on Saturdays. And again, with the exciting news, soon is TV. We're coming to TV. We will appear on VGN TV, and the stations are Woman to Woman Network, Louis Wood, Roku TV, Fire TV, Comcast, DuPont Network, Xfinity, LG Smart TV, Samsung Smart TV, and Spectrum. So we look forward to being able to update you more on that in the time to come. Okay, so we talked about Golden Swan Cadre. Are there any specific needs that you want to voice for Golden Swan Cadre? And then I'll let people know how to donate.
I would just like to ask people to subscribe to our YouTube, like it, subscribe, and share. YouTube, this podcast is a platform for us to also be able to raise money, to be able to do grander things than what we are doing to help these ladies. If we can get our membership up on YouTube, we can get monetized. And if we can get monetized, we won't have to beg people so much to donate to Golden Swan Cadre. We can just sit here and do what we love to do. You guys can tune in and watch us. We intend to have some innovative things in 2025. We're coming with the best, and we want to grow our membership. So my request is that you like it, subscribe, and share, and ask your friends and family and coworkers, hey, have you guys ever watched Gab with Golden Bronze? Check them out, because not only are they good and fun, they are for a worthy cause. So that's my last request about that, Nikki G. Thank you for asking.
Thank you. Sure. And we also have sponsors that are sponsoring Golden Swan Cadre. One of them is Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas, right?
Right.
Okay. And who are a couple of the other ones?
So we've had J&J Trucking. We've had the Lorenzo Hotel. Edward Jones, Shonda Struther of Edward Jones. The biggest one is Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and Gab with Golden Bronze are sponsors of Golden Swan Cadre. And we hope to get more sponsors, bigger sponsors, because I'm telling you guys, we are doing small things, but we want to do grand things to help more people and do more to help people.
Right. And it takes money to do those things. Money, creativity, and the willingness to help. You know, we look for volunteers sometimes to help us with what we're doing, because, as I stated, there are a lot of women who are victims of domestic violence. We have a lot of people to educate, even our young women, the teenagers. You know, boys are claiming them as their own and hurting them even as young as high school and middle school. So we want to make sure we educate young men, older men, young women, older women, because a lot of times we don't know what domestic violence is and what it isn't. So thank you for that, Golden Bronze.
Right.
The way you can donate to Golden
Michelle,
Swan Carpet. Yes,
Mickey,
yes, yes,
Mickey,
yes,
before
yes.
you do that, I want to give the Golden Swan Cadre their props because they are also kind of sponsors of this
Right.
organization. We are self-funded, partially self-funded. So each one of us that are part of this organization contributes to Golden Swan Cadre as well. So I think that they need to have their flowers as well.
Yes, I
Yes, and I
agree. Thank you
appreciate
for
that they
saying
do
that.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me tell you how you can donate to Golden Swan Cadre. You can donate through Chime, through $ Golden Swan Cadre, PayPal, thegoldenswancadre@gmail.com, Instagram, Golden Swan Cadre, the website, goldenswancadre.com, North Texas Giving Days website, we're on there, and Facebook, Golden Swan Cadre. So any of those places you can find to donate, and we're so appreciative from $1 on up to 100 and beyond. Wherever your heart and your wallet will take you, we'll be thankful for whatever you're going to donate to us. So
Yes, we will.
yes. Do you have any closing thoughts before we go?
I think that you closed it out pretty good. I just want to tell
Okay.
everybody I thank you for taking 45 minutes to an hour of your time and joining us today with Gab with Goldnbronze. It is appreciated very much that you're here listening to us today. We know that there's many places you could have been, and we do appreciate that you took the time out of your day to spend with us.
Absolutely.
That's it, Mickey. That's all I have to
All right.
say. I thank everybody for tuning in.
Thank you for coming.